In 2007, Pep Guardiola was simply a youth academy coach with no experience managing a senior team. Yet, just 1 year later, he was entrusted with the responsibility of leading Barcelona's first team. In his very first season, he orchestrated one of the greatest transformations in football history, turning a struggling squad into an unstoppable force that captured 6 trophies in a single year. Over his 4-year tenure, Guardiola shattered records, introduced a revolutionary style of play that changed football forever, and nurtured a young Argentinian talent into the greatest player on the planet, Lionel Messi. But how did he achieve this? How did an unproven manager turn a faltering Barcelona into a footballing machine? This is the story of Pep Guardiola's Barcelona, a team that dominated the sport and dismantled every opponent in their path. Though Guardiola's managerial journey at Barcelona began in 2008, his connection to the club had much deeper roots. To truly understand his rise, we need to go back to the beginning. On January 18, 1971, Pep Guardiola was born in Catalonia. At just 13 years old, he joined La Masia, Barcelona's renowned youth academy, where he quickly stood out for his intelligence and extraordinary vision on the pitch. As a player, Pep rose through the ranks, eventually becoming a central midfielder with a distinctive style. Though not the fastest or strongest, his ability to read the game set him apart. In 1990, Johan Cruyff, the legendary figure at Barcelona, promoted Guardiola to the first team. Cruyff's influence would shape Guardiola not only as a player, but also as a future manager. Under Cruyff's guidance, Pep became a pivotal member of Barcelona's iconic Dream Team, alongside stars like Stoichkov, Laudrup, and Koeman. This team achieved historic milestones, including Barcelona's first-ever Champions League title in 1992. Pep's journey from a talented youth to a key player in Barcelona's golden era laid the foundation for his remarkable managerial career. In 1992, Pep Guardiola was part of Barcelona's legendary Dream Team, which also secured 4 consecutive Spanish League titles from 1991 to 1994. By 1997, Guardiola had risen to the role of team captain, a position he held until his departure in 2001. After leaving Barcelona, he continued his playing career with stints in Italy at Brescia and Roma, followed by a move to Al Ahly in Qatar, and finally Dorados in Mexico, where he ended his career. By the time he retired, Guardiola's trophy cabinet boasted 6 La Liga titles, 2 Copa del Rey trophies, and a European Cup. Pep's coaching journey began in 2007 when Barcelona president Joan Laporta and director of football Shiki Begiristain were seeking a new manager for Barcelona B. Despite having no prior coaching experience, Guardiola's profound understanding of Barcelona's philosophy, tactical intelligence, and natural leadership made him the standout candidate. Even though he had left the club over a decade earlier, Guardiola had remained closely connected to Barcelona. During this time, he studied the intricacies of coaching and refined his vision for a high-intensity, possession-based style of play that was deeply rooted in Barcelona's DNA. In 2007, Pep Guardiola was officially appointed as the Barcelona B manager, and his debut season was nothing short of spectacular. Under his leadership, Barcelona B, which had been struggling in Spain's 4th-tier division, showed remarkable progress, winning the league and earning promotion to Segunda División B, Spain's 3rd tier. While Guardiola was working wonders with Barcelona B, the senior team, led by Frank Rijkaard, was experiencing a disastrous 2007-2008 season. They finished 3rd in La Liga and were eliminated in the semi-finals of both the Champions League and the Copa del Rey. It was a nightmare season for the club, and the board knew a change was necessary. At the time, Barcelona was on the verge of hiring José Mourinho, the highly sought-after manager who had won the Champions League with Porto and brought Premier League glory back to Chelsea after 50 years. Mourinho seemed like the obvious choice. However, one man intervened and changed the course of Barcelona's history. Johan Cruyff. Cruyff urged the board to appoint Pep Guardiola instead. He believed that Guardiola's deep connection to the club and his understanding of its philosophy made him the perfect candidate to revive Barcelona and restore their dominance. Pep Guardiola's remarkable success with the Barcelona B team made him the ideal candidate to take charge of the senior squad. Johan Cruyff saw potential in Guardiola that few others did at the time. Despite being a young and unproven coach, Cruyff convinced the Barcelona board to take a leap of faith and choose Guardiola over Jose Mourinho, a decision that would go down as one of the greatest in the club's history. However, this choice also came with consequences, as it sparked a rivalry with Mourinho that would become one of the most intense in football over the years. Heading into the 2008-2009 season, Pep Guardiola was tasked with restoring Barcelona's glory, and he wasted no time in delivering. Despite the team's struggles in the previous season, this was far from a mediocre squad. Just a few years earlier, Barcelona had lifted the Champions League trophy with Ronaldinho as their talisman. Entering the new season, the team still boasted an abundance of talent, with stars like Lionel Messi, Thierry Henry, Xavi, Iniesta, and Puyol. What they lacked wasn't talent, but direction, something Guardiola was about to provide in abundance. From the start, Pep made bold decisions, reshaping the squad significantly. He parted ways with seasoned players like Ballon d'Or winner Ronaldinho and Deco, fearing their off-field lifestyle could negatively influence the younger players. In their place, he introduced key signings such as Dani Alves and Gerard Piqué, while promoting young talents like Sergio Busquets and Pedro to the first team. Guardiola had a clear vision. This team would be built around Lionel Messi. At the time, Messi was already one of the best players in the squad, but hadn't yet ascended to the status of the world's best, a title held by Cristiano Ronaldo, the reigning Ballon d'Or winner with Manchester United. Despite these sweeping changes, Barcelona's start to the season was less than stellar. They lost 1-0 to Numancia in their La Liga opener and followed it up with a 1-1 draw against Racing Santander. Doubts began to creep in, but Guardiola and his team quickly silenced critics. Barcelona went on an extraordinary unbeaten run in La Liga, spanning over 20 matches, proving that Pep not only had the vision, but also the ability to bring it to life. With the squad beginning to gel, it became clear that Barcelona was on the brink of something special. Guardiola's side stormed through the league with an incredible streak, and come early May they found themselves sitting 4 points top of La Liga with a crucial El Clasico ahead that would pretty much determine the title. Barcelona thumped Real Madrid 62, sending them 7 points clear at the top, and they were crowned champions, just the week after making this Barcelona's first league titles since 2006. Pep got this Barcelona team playing an unseen style of football, their tiki-taka play, quick passes amongst the midfield, and ruthlessness in attack made them pretty much unstoppable. In the Copa Pep's Barcelona secured their spot in the final, and then crushed Athletic Bilbao 4-1, making that 2 trophies already for the season. But as great as a domestic double is, there was a bigger prize at stake. They topped their Champions League group with 4 wins, a draw, and a loss, and were drawn against Lyon in the round of 16, where they made light work, winning 6-3. Over the 2 legs in the quarter-finals, they were drawn against Bayern Munich, where yet again this Barcelona team made light off the German giants, winning 5-1 on aggregate, securing their spot in the semi-final, where they played one of the most controversial games in the competition's history against Chelsea. The first leg was played at the Nou Camp and finished as a goalless draw, but come to second leg, the referee was questionable, to say the least. Controversial decision after controversial decision, all seemingly going the way of Barcelona, and then at the 93rd minute, Andres Iniesta stepped up, putting the ball in the back of the net to send this Barcelona team to the Champions League final. Pep's men were now on the cusp of glory, and on the cusp of becoming the first Spanish team to ever lift a treble, and the only thing standing in their way was Manchester United, the current champions with Cristiano Ronaldo in their team. The current Ballon d'Or winner dubbed his men valsing a back four with Puo, right PK, and Sillenho perfectly balanced midfield with Bustholding at Nest and Chava playing ahead of him. Tarion replayed wide on the left. Samuel. Pep Guardiola's Barcelona continued to set the standard for greatness, with Samuel Eto'o leading the line and the magical Lionel Messi cutting in from the right. Their dominance was on full display as they cruised to a 2-0 victory in the Champions League final, with goals from Eto'o and Messi sealing the triumph. This win crowned Guardiola's men as champions of Europe. While the team as a whole was exceptional, one player stood out above all: Lionel Messi. The Argentine superstar finished the season with an incredible 38 goals and 19 assists in 51 appearances, earning him his first Ballon d'Or. However, as brilliant as the first season was, Guardiola's second campaign would prove to be even more dramatic. Barcelona's domestic dominance continued, but challenges in Europe loomed on the horizon. Jose Mourinho, now building a formidable team at Inter Milan, was determined to wrest the Champions League away from Guardiola's Barcelona. This set the stage for what would be the second of Pep's 4 legendary seasons in Spain. As the 2009 to 2010 season began, Guardiola once again felt the need to refresh his squad. The most notable change was a controversial player swap that saw top scorer Samuel Eto'o head to Inter Milan in exchange for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, with an additional €48 million included in the deal. This move would prove to be highly significant in the months to come. Alongside Ibrahimovic, Barcelona also signed Maxwell and made additional reinforcements and promotions from their famous La Masia Academy. Guardiola's go-to starting ang now consisted of Victor Valdés in goal, Maxwell, Gerard Piqué, Carlos Puyol, and Dani Alves in defense, Sergio Busquets as the holding midfielder, and Xavi and Iniesta orchestrating the game in midfield. Up front, the attacking trio of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Lionel Messi, and Pedro provided a lethal edge. Barcelona's season began with the Spanish Super Cup in August 2009, where they faced Athletic Bilbao. Guardiola's side claimed a 2-1 victory in the first leg, thanks to goals from Xavi and Pedro, followed by a dominant 3-0 win at Camp Nou, with Messi scoring a brace and Bojan Krikic adding the third. This secured the first of what would be 6 trophies in 2009. Just days later, Barcelona traveled to Monaco to face Shakhtar Donetsk in the UEFA Super Cup, marking the next step in their quest for unprecedented glory. The UEFA Super Cup proved to be a nail-biting contest, ultimately decided in extra time by a late goal from Pedro, securing Barcelona's 5th trophy of the year. Their domestic campaign also got off to a flying start, opening La Liga with a commanding 3-0 victory over Sporting Gijón. This momentum carried them through the first half of the season as they went unbeaten in their first 21 league matches, firmly establishing their dominance on the path to a second consecutive La Liga title. In addition to their domestic success, Barcelona claimed the FIFA Club World Cup, defeating Mexican side Atlante in the semi-finals and overcoming Argentina's Estudiantes in the final. Messi's extra-time winner secured a dramatic 2-1 victory, completing an unprecedented achievement: 6 trophies in a single calendar year. This incredible feat made Pep Guardiola the first manager in history to accomplish such a milestone, cementing his place among football's all-time greats. However, the season wasn't entirely without setbacks. On February 14th, Guardiola's side suffered their first defeat of the campaign, losing 2-1 to Atletico Madrid. Remarkably, this would be their only league loss, as Barcelona went unbeaten for the rest of the season, finishing with a record-breaking 99 points, 3 ahead of arch-rivals Real Madrid, and clinching another La Liga title. Despite their domestic dominance, the season brought moments of disappointment. In the Copa del Rey, Barcelona were eliminated in the round of 16 by Sevilla. Their European journey also fell short of expectations. After reaching the Champions League semi-finals, they faced Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan in a high-stakes showdown. The rivalry between Guardiola and Mourinho was already fierce, as Pep had taken the Barcelona managerial position that Mourinho coveted just a year earlier. The clash was a battle of styles, Guardiola's attacking Barcelona against Mourinho's defensively masterful Inter Milan. In the first leg at the San Siro, Mourinho's side delivered a tactical masterclass, defeating Barcelona 3-1, with Diego Milito scoring 1 goal and assisting 2. Despite their best efforts in the second leg, Guardiola's Barcelona couldn't overcome the deficit, marking a rare but significant setback in an otherwise historic season. The return leg against Inter Milan was nothing short of dramatic. Just 28 minutes into the match, Inter's Thiago Motta received a red card, leaving the Italian side with 10 men and seemingly setting the stage for a Barcelona triumph at Camp Nou. Playing a man down and away from home, it looked like Barca were destined to turn the tie around. But Jose Mourinho had other plans. In a moment of bold defiance, he approached Guardiola and said, "You think this is over? This is far from over." What followed was a masterclass in defensive resilience. Inter shut down Barcelona's attacking threats, stifling Messi and absorbing relentless pressure. Despite a late goal from Gerard Piqué, Inter held firm. When the final whistle blew, it was Mourinho's Inter who celebrated, securing their place in the Champions League final. Mourinho's dramatic sprint down the touchline, finger in the air, became an iconic moment as he taunted Pep and celebrated his team's triumph. Mourinho's Inter would go on to win the Champions League that season, with Samuel Eto'o playing a key role, a player Guardiola had traded for Zlatan Ibrahimovic just months earlier. While Eto'o shone in Milan, Ibrahimovic's stint in Barcelona was marked by a deteriorating relationship with Guardiola, ultimately leading to a severe falling out and Zlatan's departure from the club at the end of the season. Despite the disappointment in Europe and the Copa del Rey, Guardiola's Barcelona still had plenty to celebrate. They finished the season with 4 trophies, including La Liga, and a host of individual accolades. Xavi was named the 2009 World's Best Playmaker, with Messi and Iniesta finishing 2nd and 4th, respectively. Guardiola himself was awarded the title of 2009 World Club Coach. Determined not to be outdone in Europe again, Guardiola signed a 1-year extension to stay at the club until the end of the 2010-11 season. His hunger for success was evident as he entered his 3rd year in charge with a bang. Early into the 2010-11 campaign, Barcelona made significant moves in the transfer market, signing Spanish star David Villa from Valencia for €40 million and Javier Mascherano from Liverpool for €24 million. Guardiola also made tough decisions, parting ways with Ukrainian defender Dmytro Chigrinsky and midfielder Yaya Touré, who moved to Manchester City despite Pep's efforts to keep him. Thierry Henry ended his contract to join the MLS, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic returned to Serie A after his fallout with Pep. With these changes in place, Barcelona kicked off the new season determined to reclaim their dominance domestically and in Europe. Barcelona started the season with conviction, but hit an early hurdle in September when Lionel Messi suffered an ankle injury after a brutal tackle during a 2-1 victory over Atletico Madrid. Thankfully, Messi's absence was brief, just 2 weeks, and he quickly returned to the pitch with a point to prove. By mid-November, Guardiola's Barcelona were ready for an iconic showdown, El Clásico against Real Madrid. In one of the most unforgettable matches in football history, Guardiola's team delivered a resounding 5-0 thrashing at Camp Nou. Their mesmerizing tiki-taka style was on full display, with Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta leading the charge and proving why they were regarded as the best players in the world. The victory was especially sweet given that Jose Mourinho, Pep's greatest rival, was now managing Real Madrid. Mourinho had arrived in La Liga determined to dethrone Pep, but this humiliating defeat, despite having stars like Ronaldo, Di Maria, and Kaká in his squad, left the Real Madrid president calling it the worst match in Madrid's history. This emphatic Clásico win not only solidified Barcelona's lead in La Liga, putting them 2 points ahead of Madrid, but also sent a powerful message about Guardiola's dominance. By the end of the year, Pep's players continued to shine individually, with Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta sweeping the top 3 spots for the Ballon d'Or. Messi went on to win the award for the 2nd consecutive year, cementing his status as the world's best player. As the new year began, Barcelona faced a setback in the Copa del Rey, losing their unbeaten run to Real Betis. However, they rebounded with relentless determination. The team equaled Real Madrid's record of 15 consecutive league wins after a victory over Hercules, and broke the record in February with a 3-0 win against Atletico Madrid, featuring a stunning hat-trick from Lionel Messi. Their momentum carried them into the Copa del Rey final after defeating Almeria, setting up another highly anticipated Pep versus Jose clash. This time, Cristiano Ronaldo's powerful header from a Di Maria cross in extra time gave Mourinho's Madrid the victory, handing Pep a rare and bitter defeat in a cup final. Guardiola wasn't about to let things end with the Copa del Rey defeat. Just days after losing the final, Real Madrid and Barcelona clashed again in the Champions League semi-finals. In the first leg at the Santiago Bernabeu, Lionel Messi stole the show, scoring 2 stunning goals in the last 15 minutes to secure a 2-0 victory for Barcelona. The second leg at Camp Nou ended in a 1-1 draw, which was enough to send Barcelona through to the final, knocking out Mourinho's Madrid and giving Pep the last laugh of the season. As Guardiola's 3rd season continued, Barcelona captured their 3rd consecutive La Liga title with a 1-1 draw against Levante, ensuring they finished 4 points ahead of Real Madrid. To cap off their domestic dominance, they achieved a club record of 14 away wins after defeating Malaga 3-1. But the crowning achievement of the season came in the Champions League final, where Barcelona once again outclassed Manchester United, winning 3-1. This marked Pep's 2nd Champions League triumph over Sir Alex Ferguson's team in 3 years. Lionel Messi was named man of the match in the final and had an extraordinary season, finishing the Champions League campaign with 12 goals, a record for the most goals in a single season. The 2010-2011 season ended with Barcelona securing a double and coming just 1 match shy of completing another treble, solidifying their status as one of the greatest teams in football history. However, this season marked the peak of Guardiola's Barcelona. In the 2011-2012 campaign, Jose Mourinho's Real Madrid came back stronger than ever, and cracks began to appear in Pep's dynasty. The 2011-2012 season was a mix of thrilling highs, significant milestones, and a few tough moments, making Guardiola's final year as Barca manager a bittersweet conclusion to his legendary tenure. During the summer transfer window, Pep made some key additions to the squad. He signed Chilean winger Alexis Sanchez from Udinese for €37 million, adding firepower to the attack, and brought back Cesc Fabregas from Arsenal for €40 million, completing one of the most talented midfields in history. With these reinforcements, Barcelona prepared for another exciting campaign under Guardiola, but the challenges ahead would test even the best team in the world. Barcelona, with Iniesta, Xavi, and Busquets in the squad, kicked off the season by facing their fierce rivals, Real Madrid, in the Supercopa de España. The first leg at the Santiago Bernabeu ended in a thrilling 2-2 draw. Just 3 days later, on August 17th, Barcelona raised the stakes at Camp Nou, securing a 3 victory over Madrid to clinch the Supercopa with a 5-4 aggregate score. Messi stole the show, scoring twice, including the decisive winner. However, the match turned heated after Marcelo's foul on Fabregas ignited a brawl, resulting in multiple red cards. This hard-fought triumph was yet another statement victory for Pep Guardiola's Barca against Jose Mourinho's Madrid, setting the stage for an electrifying season. Shortly after, Barcelona added more silverware by claiming the UEFA Super Cup with a 2-0 win over Porto, marking the club's 4th Super Cup title and giving Fabregas his first trophy in a Barca shirt. As the league campaign unfolded, injuries began to take a toll. Newly signed Alexis Sanchez suffered a hamstring tear, sidelining him for weeks, while Iniesta was ruled out for a month with a femoral bicep injury. Despite these setbacks, Messi continued to shine. After back-to-back draws, Barcelona bounced back emphatically with an 8-0 demolition of Osasuna, featuring a Messi hat-trick. On September 28th, Barca secured a dominant 5-0 win over Bate Borisov in the Champions League, with Messi's brace bringing him level with Ladislao Kubala as the club's second all-time top scorer with 194 goals. As December arrived, yet another thrilling Clásico unfolded, with Guardiola's Barca once again emerging victorious, defeating Real Madrid 3-1 at the Bernabeu. Soon after, the team turned their focus to the Club World Cup in Japan, aiming to cap off an already memorable year with another trophy. Barcelona added yet another trophy to their collection with a commanding 4-0 victory over Santos in the Club World Cup final. Messi starred with a brace, while Xavi and Fabregas also found the net, securing the club's 5th title of 2011. The new year started on a high note, with Pep Guardiola winning FIFA Coach of the Year and Messi claiming his 3rd consecutive Ballon d'Or on January 9th. Soon after, Barcelona knocked Real Madrid out of the Copa del Rey, advancing on aggregate after a 2-2 draw at Camp Nou, once again getting the better of Jose Mourinho. However, this time it would be Mourinho who would have the last laugh later in the season. As the campaign progressed, Messi continued to break records, becoming the first player in Champions League history to score 5 goals in a single match, which he did against Bayer Leverkusen. But in La Liga, things took a turn for the worse. A 2-2 draw with Villarreal left Barcelona trailing Real Madrid by 7 points, as Mourinho's side gained momentum. April was a heartbreaking month for Barca fans. The team reached their 5th consecutive Champions League semi-final, but suffered a dramatic elimination at the hands of Chelsea after a 2-2 draw at Camp Nou. To make matters worse, on April 27th, Guardiola announced that he would step down at the end of the season. A few weeks later, Real Madrid were crowned La Liga champions, bringing an end to Pep's domestic dominance. Despite the setbacks, Barcelona ended the season on a high note, winning the Copa del Rey final with a 3-0 victory over Athletic Bilbao. It was soon confirmed that Tito Vilanova would take over as manager, but Guardiola left behind an extraordinary legacy, securing 14 trophies in just 4 years. Though his departure was bittersweet, Pep's coaching journey was far from over, as he went on to achieve even greater success with Bayern Munich and Manchester City, solidifying his status as one of football's greatest managers.